Hi everyone, welcome back. So today I am going to go over my September wrap up. In the month of September, I finished 5 books. And so the first book that I finished was A Memory Called Empire by Arkady Martine. I had started this at the end of August and it rolled over into September. So this is a political science fiction, space opera-esque story, and it follows Mahit, who has just been appointed as the new ambassador for her station to the big empire. I have no clue how to say it, so I'm not going to try. I link it up above. Mahit is actually very fascinated with this empire's culture, and she studied it for many years to the point where she would like to be a citizen if she could, but instead she's an ambassador. And the book starts off where Mahit is actually being called to be the new ambassador because the previous ambassador has died under mysterious circumstances. And so as she is taking on her new duties, she has to figure out what happened and how much does this empire know about her society, especially things that they don't want them to know. And as the story goes on, she has to decide who she's going to trust and with what information. And it was actually a really fun read, and I really enjoyed it, and I gave it a 5 stars. So the second book that I finished in September is Network Effect by Martha Wells, and this is the first novel for Murderbot. Previously it's been 4 novellas, and so in this novel, Murderbot is still working with the preservation group, but it is still its contract, not because somebody else said that Murderbot has to do it. And there are some characters from the first novella who was part of that original preservation Ox group, but not Mensa. You have some flashbacks of Murderbots to seeing Mensa, but Mensa and Murderbot have decided with everything that has gone on in their past that they need sometimes separate so they can both figure out who they are apart from each other and not just rely on each other for everything. And so Mensa, one of Mensa's daughters, is on this survey team, which Mensa then is really wanted Murderbot to go foresee. And so the book opens where Murderbot is with the survey group already, and they are having an incident. Survive that incident, because like I said, that's the beginning of the book. Of course they have to survive that. They go off into space, head home, and then they get kidnapped. And I can't explain why or how. Well, I mean, I can't. They get kidnapped by another ship in space, but I can't say why because that gives away so much. But if you have not read anything about Murderbot, you need to. Everybody needs Murderbot in their life. And I also gave this book 5 stars. The third book that I finished this month was A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. And this is a book that's been on my radar before. And I actually previously started at one time, but it had been a while, and so when I got it this time, I just started again from the beginning. And actually while reading it, I realized I had gone a lot farther than I thought I had, because I remembered more of the story as I was rereading it. And for me, it was just a fun romp. It's more, while it's a continuous story of them on a journey, each chapter is more like a vignette in their lives. Like, this has happened, and so it could be a separate little short story, and they're all just stringed together because these are all the things that happened on their longer journey. It's kind of gave me the Firefly Serenity feels. You have a cast of people who are lovable together but separate. You might want to choke them, kind of thing. I mean, not all choke them, but definitely as Kizzy reminds me a lot of Kaylee, the mechanics. Oh, and I also gave this one 5 stars. The next book I finished is Exhalation by Ted Chiang, and this is a collection of short stories. And I know one of the stories in this collection was Nebula nominee, and another one was a Hugo nominee, and so I just read the whole collection. Now, this is, while it was still science fiction, it was a nice break from the space opera kind of science fiction that I had been reading on the big scale, and this is more what I would consider near future, kind of reminiscent of like Black Mirror stories. Earth and society has evolved to a certain point, and then let's explore the technology and how it keeps going. My favorite story was with the Digits, is I think what they're called. They're like little lovable creatures that were digital, that you could raise and teach until they grew up, and just kind of how, just everything with that. I don't want to give too much away of that short story, but that one was my favorite. It was not one of the award nominees. And then the last book I finished in October was The Rolling Stones by Robert Heinlein, and this was my pick for published before I was born. And this is one of Robert Heinlein's juvenile stories, and it follows the Stone family as they decide to venture forth from the moon and to go to Mars. Originally, it's to go to Mars, and it's just their wacky journey forth. It starts off following the twins as their desire is to go out, and they're very entrepreneurial minded, and they want to go make money and have all these schemes. And Dad is like, nope, you're a minor, that's not happening. But hey, traveling would be fun. And so the whole family goes. It's also kind of its chapters are again more episodic as you kind of go forward, and it was just a lot of fun. It was a reread for me. I've read it before, but I really enjoyed it still. So those are all the books I finished in the month of October. There was one book that those are all the books I finished in the month of September. There was one book that I had started but did not finish by the end of September, and that was the novella To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. So my thoughts will be coming out with my October wrap-up for that one. But as far as I had gotten, I was really enjoying it. Most of my choices for this month were for Space Opera September. I am bad. I did not look to see what rank I would get or in what system. I had a lot of fun. I mean, if you want to say that, oh, hey, I took one book into September and then had one book that I'd started but it went into October, I mean, it would kind of work out. Then I finished 4. So I finished the 4 books towards the Space Opera September. Yeah. So I'm something. Thank you for your time, and I hope to be putting up some more videos more regularly as life has calmed down from schoolwork. And if you have read any of these books and would like to talk about them, please comment down below. If you haven't and still want to talk about them, comment down below. Thank you very much and have a great day. Bye.